Well, before we close today, I'm sure you're probably thinking about the last couple of days and really kind of reflecting on all the different things that we've learned. We've been inspired, we've been excited, we've had a whole lot of ideas. What we do want you to think about, and of course we'll put up a bit of word cloud towards the last sort of couple of minutes for you to reflect on, is what are some of these actions and takeaway thoughts that you've been building on and you've been reflecting on. So do kind of have that in your mind, and we'll sort of, to help guide you through some of the things that you might have sort of reflected on during the course of the day. What we will also do is we'll keep this open so you can jump on the Slido anytime, but just kind of take you through some of the fantastic graphic slides that you have been seeing as they've been coming through during the day. So these are really sort of just helping you and enabling your thoughts to crystallize in your minds and to help us sort of reflect on the role, of course, that infrastructure in construction can play, the circular economy piece that we heard around, the work that is happening. Of course, we heard about governments and various jurisdictions, federal government, of course, and what's happening at various state levels, and indeed, of course, the ministerial advisory committees. We've heard, of course, from the infrastructure groups, and that's been fantastic because, of course, how we start to look at recycled materials as one of the first steps to bring that into circular infrastructure. Again, learning from each other, very important. We've heard a lot today about circular design. How do we actually start to reflect on that ambition that we have to bring circularity into design? Yes, it would be fantastic if it is a proactive way in which you start to think about it right from the get-go. We heard about materials passports in there. And then as we reflected and further moved into, of course, engineering, and where Romney Madu told us about building capacity and working collaboratively. There is so much, of course, we need to do. We've heard from both Kathleen and Reid around how architecture is playing such an important role. That thought leadership from that firm was just fantastic to see. And of course, Nicole brought together, again, a brilliant panel with Mike, Wayne, and Amelia. We were able to, of course, see how we can purposefully have greener infrastructure, but that international perspective. And I think it was really, really interesting to hear Wayne tell us from ReLondon that, hey, you know what? I mean, learn from each other. It's out there. Don't need to reinvent the wheel. Let's take on the challenge. Let's push ourselves to be ahead of the curve. So thank you, Wayne, for those words of wisdom. And certainly, of course, the finishing day talk today, very inspiring to hear from Hayden, and to be able to hear stories and the narratives of how we can bring in, of course, indigenous knowledge, culture, that place and connectivity. We can bring in knowledge which, of course, allows us to connect across, the culture, and reflecting that we can all collaborate and work together. And the fact that we're all here, and here we are at the end of the third day of this incredible conference, that we certainly have, hopefully inspired each other to be able to reflect on some of these actions that you want to take with you. I can see a lot of these words that are coming up on the screen. So we'll put this up in a minute, but certainly I do want to share these reflections with you as you see and as you get inspired. Please do put some of these in there in your own thoughts as well. So really, that's the end of the formal proceedings today. I really want to thank you all for making this, really one of the most enjoyable weeks, certainly in my year. I've been inspired listening to so many incredible things that you all are doing in this space. I want to thank you for attending Ecologic Conference, the Greener Infrastructure Conference. And if you and your colleagues have missed something out and you want to share with your colleagues, the presentations and the recordings from the conference will be available post the event. I do, of course, want to say thanks to sponsors and exhibitors who have contributed to the event. I want to pay, of course, special thanks to the team at Ecologic. Alexis, thank you for really creating this incredible forum. I think what we have really shown is that as we come together, as we look for inspiration and that excitement, the fact that we're all here at 4 o'clock on day 3 says a lot. So I want to, shout out and give a special thanks to Alexis and to her team at Ecologic. So please join with me in thanking Alexis. We're certainly looking forward to coming back here again next year. I think this is an incredible event, and you've certainly, set a benchmark for how these sharing of ideas can really take place. So it's also about, the trade hall and the products and the exhibitors who are so passionate. Every time I walk through, people want to be able to engage and talk about new ideas. So I would, again, encourage you to make your way to the trade hall. It's open till about 5 o'clock, so speak with the exhibitors, swap cards, contact details, and so on. And we would certainly, hope that you take away these actions from these past 3 days. I love the fact that, what's come up here right in the middle is act now, and I think action was always the key word we wanted you to walk away with whatever that might be in your world. So thank you so much for coming along and sharing your past 3 days with all of us. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the day.